Oh, I'm live. Look, it's me. We're waiting to see if anybody comes and joins us. If not, oh well. We'll talk for a few minutes, see what we got going on. Oh, somebody has joined us. How we doing today? Man, a few people. Well, I guess we'll go ahead and get started. Be honest, I didn't expect this many people to join, especially right at the beginning. Afternoon, everyone. Of course, if you don't know, I'm Tom. Oh, everybody just left. Except for one. Well, we'll talk. You want to talk distortion and over? Well, now you're gone. Get that deer in the headlight look. Wanted to talk distortion pedals, overdrive pedals, any other kind of pedals y'all might want to talk about. See if anybody else comes back. I can see now I'm gonna have to do something about this background though. I don't like that. I wish this was in the guitar room, but I don't have room in there for a computer. That's for sure. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Tom's Pedal Demos, and my first live chat. Thought we'd discuss something about distortion pedals and overdrive pedals for anybody that would like to. And we're gone again. Wow. That don't last long, huh? Not quite 10 o'clock anyway, so we'll wait and see. Although I do hate just sitting here. But, we'll give everybody another minute or so. Hey, there we go. How we doing today? Bye. People just coming and going. Guess it's about that time, isn't it? Yes, it is. So, how we doing out there? Not very many people, but all's good. This is Tom's Pedal Demos. If you don't know me, I'd like to think most of you know who I am if you're here. But today I think we'll start our very first live YouTube off with some distortion and some overdrive pedals, budget-friendly ones. So if you play and you're looking to get yourself a budget pedal, a budget-friendly distortion or overdrive pedal, I have a few here that might interest you. And I call budget anything under $99. And most of these here are going to be well under that. Matter of fact, a few of these will be under 30 and 40 bucks. So you can take a look at them, see what you think. But we'll always start out with the very first one that everybody knows. And you can pick these up for under 50 bucks for the most part anymore. See if I can get it up here and hold it up. There you go. The Boss DS1 Distortion. I got to learn to use this camera better. Right there. Now, this one's a little beat up. I got it for about 35 bucks off Marketplace. But you can usually pick these up under 50 bucks most places. But very good distortion pedal. For me, hooking it to my Marshall, it gets a little bit too fuzzy, I guess would be the word for it. I don't use it very often. I prefer the overdrive distortion pedal that they built, but that's one of them. And for overdrive, of course, the mighty tube screamer, which everybody knows this pedal. These two pedals are probably the two most famous pedals in the world, just about the most sold. The other tube screamer, though, is probably more sold than this one. You have the TS808, the TS8, TS9, the Tone Lock one, which is a 7, and a few others. But a lot of people swear by these. But most people, I think, use them as boosts. But it's a good overdrive pedal and pretty good distortion pedal. But this one I picked up for $50 on Marketplace also. But you can usually pick these up under $70, the TS9. Some of the others you can get cheaper. A few of the others are way more expensive. The TS or the I think TS10 is quite a bit more. But direct clone of the overdrive distortion pedal you saw on the thumbnail right here from Behringer. You can get these. I know I bought this one for $28, I think, but I think they've gone up some, about under $40. So you can still get this overdrive distortion. It's almost a direct clone of the Boss overdrive distortion pedal. And it's a pretty good pedal. I took it off my board though, because I put a different, my Behringer board has the heavy metal pedal and something else, because I also took the tube screamer. Behringer has a really good clone of a tube screamer. If you haven't checked it out, if you need a tube screamer and can't afford the Ibanez, the Behringer one is pretty good. So you can check it out. One of my favorite pedals, though, for it's an overdrive pedal, but I get good distortion out of this pedal on my Marshall. But that's this right here, the Ultimate Drive from Joyo. This is from the 1030 series. It's got a low and a high switch on it right here. But this is a very good pedal. This clips pretty good. It's for what's an overdrive pedal, supposedly this thing clips pretty good. I get good distortion actually out of this on my JCM 800 with the preamp on 10. I really do like this pedal. That's a 1030 series Joyo. You can pick these up under $50, I know, right now also on Amazon. But I do recommend this pedal. It's we all know I do demos, not reviews, but I will recommend a pedal now and then if you ask me. And I would recommend this to most people, especially if you have a tube amp. Check it out. Now here's some really, really budget-friendly pedals in this family here. And you can check these out. They can get a little bit noisy, but they're well built. They're in metal cases. I'm not sure what they're clones of or what they're trying to clone on some of these, but the Delamo pedals. This is an overdrive. I also have a distortion and another overdrive pedal from them. You can pick these up under $30, and they got a pretty decent footprint on your board. They're not too big, but they're not small. But it's a pretty decent pedal. If you got the right system, like anything else, I always say that it's more what you're hooking it up to. I mean, an expensive pedal or a cheap pedal, neither one of them will sound good if you're not running them correctly and don't set it up the way you need to for your rig. Now, when I tell you some of these are good or bad, that's what my rig, and I play most of my stuff, my personal stuff, that when I'm really playing through my JCM 800. I haven't ran a lot of these every day through the crate or through the PV stereo chorus or the Katana. I usually use the onboard effects for the Katanas, both of them, but I'm going to start trying them out more so that I can give you better information on them. But now this company has some pretty nice pedals, but they got a whole bunch of overdrive pedals, and this is their small one. If you need a small footprint, this is the NuX Morningstar. And I haven't really found a bad NuX pedal yet, you know, of all the ones they've sent me. I've done some demos on these on the channel, and the Recto is really nice. The 65 overdrive, which I'm going to show you, I think. Yeah, I've got it in here. The Diamond. The PlexiCrunch, I did a comparison with the PlexiCrunch through the Katana, trying to match it up to my JCM 800. And this is the Morningstar overdrive, and good footprint, good build. And you can get these. I think this one was $59.99 on the Amazon. You can check that out. It's not a bad pedal at all. For a distortion pedal for a small one with a really small footprint. And I found this one sounds really good on my MG 100 and my Marshall for the most part. But Pogo Lab makes pretty good pedals. for the price range, and these are under 30 bucks. Now again, it's a good pedal for 30 bucks, 30 and under. I'm not saying it's going to compare to your, $300 tube screamers or your Strymons and that, but if you need budget, if you're looking for a budget distortion pedal that has good sound, that put no noise on my Marshall, these right here, this isn't a bad pedal, not a bad pedal at all. But now this, I was very surprised with. Now, I did try this one on bass. I didn't like it on bass. I'll tell you that now if you're a bass player. Kind of noisy. But on guitar, the 63 Diamond from NuX wasn't too bad at all. You run this on a tube amp or on a solid state, and it gets pretty good sound. Good for an overdrive. It can get a little bit heavier if you really crank it up, but it's a really good pedal, and these are $49.99. So you can definitely do well with that. Now this is an interesting pedal. I got this off Marketplace for 25 bucks. I don't really know what they run. I know they're under 50 bucks if you go looking for them. But this is the Demon FX copy of the Tube Screamer, and it's got a switch for a TS9. If you push it down, it's supposed to mock a TS808. But this right here is like I said, I believe it's under 50 bucks new. I paid 25 bucks, I think it was. I bought two pedals from that guy, and I think I gave him 40 or 50 for both. So good pedal right here. And this is the one I bought with it, and this was a good distortion pedal too. This one was a little noisy on my rig though. But geez, right here, this is the K-Line Sandstorm. Now I will say on my rig, this there was a little bit add a little bit of noise I didn't care for. I'm going to try the NuX Huminator with it and see if it can get rid of it. But the Demon FX Tube Screamer, if you want the TS9 and TS8 clone in one pedal, you can check this out. And like I said, I think you can get this brand new under 50 bucks. Of course, the almighty, some call it a fuzz, some call it a distortion pedal. I think it depends on how you set it up. But the EHX Big Muff right here, well, this is the Big Muff Pi. I just got my hands on this a couple weeks ago and really like it. It sounds pretty good on both the MG solid state and the JCM 800. Right here, though, this is another under 30 bucks. I think they're under 40 now. Some of these prices moved after I bought them when I went back and looked at them later because I'm always looking at pedals. But Y-U-E-R, and this is the Acme distortion pedal. And they have the Pebble and a few others. I've got about 4 of these pedals. And this isn't a bad pedal, especially if you can get it under 35 bucks. It's worth taking a look at. I've run it across 2 or 3 of my amps, and it's not horrible. It's not fantastic, but it is a good pedal for the money. So now I have a couple of the other pedals. The Pebble is really good. I do like it. But this is the Acme. And to me, this is kind of I'd say a clone of like if you were going to play the K-Line or the Joyo 1030 pedals, you know, the big ones like the British and that. That's about what this is. So under 30 bucks, definitely grab one. Under 40, you know, it depends on what you're looking for. Went to Sweetwater this past weekend and picked up a couple things, and this is one of them. Now, one of my rigs, it was really noisy, and I wasn't happy with it, but then I switched up a few things, put it on a different rig, and it worked out really good. But this is the Gibson Builds Maestro Invader Distortion. It's got a gate, but I would recommend not turning the gate on this because it really drains everything out of it pretty quickly when you have the gate on. But it is a heavy distortion pedal. This isn't for the weak at heart. Let me tell you that. And I actually got this at Sweetwater, brand new, $49.95, I think it was. This was the cheapest Maestro there. It may have been, maybe it was $69.95. I didn't buy anything that was over $100 pedal wise at Sweetwater, and I know this wasn't the most expensive one. So, but if you want some heavy distortion, and you got the right rig, this pedal will definitely give it to you. If you like metal, that's for sure. Now this little pedal, haven't really been happy with it. This is a distortion pedal that was quite noisy on all my rigs, but it is under 45 bucks. And if you're building a small pedal, or a small board, this has a really small footprint, and maybe it's just my rig. I'm gonna try it out on some other stuff. I'm constantly changing rigs for demos anyway. But this is the Azor Snake distortion pedal. Now it has a good distortion sound when you set it up, when you can get it set up right. But it just had a lot of hiss to me going through my JCM 800 and my MG when I turned it on. But like I said, I wasn't using my cord cables that I have now. I've upgraded. And that's another thing. Remember, I'm not one to say you got to have the most expensive of anything, because you can make anything work if if you work hard enough. But cables, do not skimp on your cables. Make sure that you've got shielded cables and that they're good. You don't have to buy the most expensive $80 ones. I'm not going to mention names on that. Everybody knows what they are. Starts with an M. But I will mention that Pig Hog makes great cables at a really fair price. But some of the other companies do too. But don't go buy Walmart cables and expect them to sound good. You're going to get noise. I can almost promise you. Now, here's a pedal. I didn't know I was going to start collecting this entire series. And this pedal is horrible on my rig. But I'm kind of building the entire series. So I got it. And I didn't know it was so bad till I played it. It may be good on somebody else's rig. And they are vintage. And you can still get them under $80. Matter of fact, I got this one way under that. But this series is getting expensive. So if you're going to get them now. But this thing sounds terrible on my rig. But this is the Dan Electro grilled cheese right there. And it is the strangest distortion I've ever heard in my life. It's very mid. It sounds very mid driven. Even taking all the mids off my Marshall, it could not help it. So try it before you buy it if you can. But the grilled cheese from Dan Electro, like I said, on my rig, terrible. Try it on your rig, see if you can get something out of it. But now this one wasn't much better, and I bought 3 of these food series from this guy because I do love the French toast, and I love the BLT and no, I don't like the BLT. I don't like the Slap Echo, but the French toast and the milkshake is fantastic. Chorus pedal. But this one here, this is another distortion pedal from the food series called the T-Bone. And I wasn't real happy with it either on my rig. But got to remember now, everything I tell you is on my rigs. And I play a lot of Seymour Duncan pickups. I use a Marshall JCM 800 as my main amp on top of a Marshall 1964 12. And I use all guitar, what is it? Amp Turco Guitar Works cables, custom cables. And then on my other rigs, I use all Pig Hog cables. So kind of give you an idea of what I do use. And then all my guitars are either stock or have Seymour Duncans. Now here's a pedal that really surprised me. I just bought this because of the price. I got it for $20. Didn't know much about it, but I grabbed it anyway. And I was really happy with this pedal. This is it's not the actual name of the series, but they call it the Tank series because of how big they are and how they're built. But this is the TC Electronic Grand Magus, and this pedal on my rig sounds fantastic. I don't know what the Magus sounds like, but this pedal through mine, man, I really enjoyed this. And if I didn't already have my main setup, this would probably go into it. But I can highly recommend that pedal for the right setup. Now this pedal was another one out of the Nux reissue series pedals that I started putting together. And most of them sound really good. This one sounds fantastic too, but it was a little noisy, but I don't know if it was the wireless I was running through it at the time or having other boxes hooked to it. But the XTC OD is, it says overdrive, but on my rig, it was freaking heavy. So you can take it however you want, but a little noisy on mine, but it hit distortion really well on my rig. But check that out. Only $49.99. Can't go wrong with it. None of those new X pedals you can go wrong with. But and it is pronounced not Nux, New X, and this is part of the reissue series. And I got a few of those pedals. I also have this one here sitting here, the 65 Overdrive. It's another pretty good overdrive pedal. Now I have a demo of this on my channel and here on YouTube, and you might want to check this out because this is a fantastic transparent overdrive, and it is only $49.99, and it's good. It'll do exactly what you're thinking it will do. But the 65 overdrive from Newx right there. Now this pedal I wasn't sure about getting. My wife actually picked this pedal out, but it was the only one in the series from Fender that was in the affordable range. They were all over $100, but this one was 47, I think, or something. It was in there, but this is the Fender Metal, and it is metal. I'll tell you that. It this thing will crunch. You want to know if it'll chug? This will chug. So if you're looking for a good heavy distortion pedal under the $50 mark, this is well worth your time checking out. I think you can get this on Amazon too, but I know that Sweetwater has it. That's where I got mine at. So check that out. Oh wow. Hold on. I didn't realize that you can that I had some chat here. So let me kind of answer that real quick. I'll get used to doing this, guys. Remember, it's my very first time. I'll learn how to do all this at one time sometime. What else we got here? Oh, speaking of the Newx, I do have the Recto distortion pedal out here with me. Now, this is a heavy-duty distortion pedal. This is about as close to a Mesa Boogie, probably a triple rectifier or something, but it's a Mesa in a box, and it is heavy. I put this on the JCM 800 with the preamp on 10, and it almost destroyed the house. I had to turn that thing down, but this is a nice pedal. These are only $49.99 too. So on the Newx channel website, so you can take a look at that. I think that you heavy guys, between that and the Invader from Maestro, are really, really nice full out distortion pedals. And I think we've about gone through everything I had in here. I wasn't going to bring all 500 distortion pedals I had, but I got one more here. Now, I picked this up at Sweetwater, and everybody was talking about this, and I have a different opinion. Even though I do like this pedal, I'm a big EHX fan anyway. But this is the Electro Harmonics Percolator, and the only reason I got it here is because it's supposed to be a drive distortion overdrive / fuzz. On my rig, this is a fuzz and a heavy fuzz from what I can get out of it. I've got to play with this more. I did put up a demo of this just today on the channel. You can check it out, see what you think. It is definitely a nice fuzz. It's a beautiful fuzz pedal. This thing, it does everything that they say it will do. But the drive side for me just didn't seem like it was overdrive or distortion. It just seemed like it was a heavier fuzz maybe or something. But $99 most places. I think I actually got this one for $94 at Sweetwater. But if you've been looking at this pedal and been wondering about it, check it out because I think you'll like it. It's like everything else EHX. It's worth the try. But yeah, I think you're right. Somebody just mentioned that they think that the Newx stuff is taking off. It is. I've seen more and more and more people talking about it. I've got the entire reissue series. The reissue series is all $49.99 and below. They have, I think it's 6 different overdrive and distortion pedals that you could take a chance on any of them at that price. And I think you'd be pretty happy with them. I also got the analog delay and the analog chorus. I'm not a big delay guy, so I can't tell you, yes, it's great or no, but I can say that the chorus pedal works really well on my rig. But I found a few chorus pedals that work good there, but distortion wise, yeah, you can try out any of the overdrives and that. I think you can be happy with almost any of them. But that's all the overdrive and distortion pedals I brought out. If there's anything that y'all want to bring up, please put it up here in the chat and we'll talk about it real quick. Just remember that overdrive and distortion, they are different. You know, distortion's a heavier clipping. The diodes clip harder. You're going to push a little bit harder. Overdrive is softer, of course, and fuzz. Distortion falls between overdrive and fuzz, but distortion wise, I don't like fuzzy. I don't like fizzy. I don't like, and that's my problem with some of these pedals. Even the DS1 to me gets a little fizzy. The Yamaha, I do not have any Yamaha pedals right now. Every time I find one, somebody beats me to it if it's a good deal. And the only ones that I can get my hands on are, I feel, overpriced, over the $100 range. So I have not picked up any Yamaha. The OD10M I don't have, or any of the vintage ones, but I am looking, just like the Maxon. I'm trying to get my hands on a Maxon to add to the collection. There's a few others that I'd like to add. I'd even like to get my hands on another Tube Screamer, but I'd like to get my hands on the 10 and just check it out one time. But for all the people that just joined, if you're into the Tube Screamer and that's what you're interested in, this here, I'd shown it a little bit earlier. This is well worth you checking out if you want. This has the TS9 and the TS808, both in the same pedal. And like I said, under 50 bucks, under $60, I'm real sure about. Under 50, maybe. I paid 25 for this, I think, off Marketplace. And if you have Marketplace in your area, man, check them out, because I get a lot of good deals off Marketplace. Now, we talked about the Pogo Lab pedal Distortion. They also have an Overdrive pedal that are both, they're same size. These are small footprint, the mini pedals or micro pedals, depending on how you want to say it. But you can check both of those out under 35 bucks. Dan Electro, like I said, a couple of their pedals are good, but the grilled cheese, I would recommend staying away from unless you can try it out on your rig first, because it's a very, very strange MIDI sounding pedal. It's a weird distortion to me, or whatever it is. But this direct clone of I have the Boss one of these. I think it's the OD2 or something. I would have to look at it. But this is almost a direct clone of it. And although this isn't on my Behringer board, the Boss one is on my Boss board. But it's not a bad pedal. I got that off of Marketplace too. You can usually get it brand new under 30 bucks, 35 bucks, somewhere in there. So make sure you check those out. If anybody else got any questions, throw them up here. Let's discuss it. I know there's got to be. Now, I do have a Boss ME50. If any of y'all have the multi-platform pedal boards, Boss, I know that NewX builds some, and a few other Digitech. But the Governor on that, the clone of the Marshall Governor pedal, is really good if you can get it set up right. There's a couple of distortions on there I don't like, but overall, there's some pretty decent pedals on there, you know, that you can try out on the Distortion and Overdrive side. I'm trying to keep this just Distortion and Overdrive. I could talk about a bunch of things on that board, but you got 12, I think, or 16 choices, something like that, 20. I think it's 20, 10 of each. If you mash it into the second channel, you can get 10 more. But there's 5 or 6 on there that are really good and worth checking out. Now, I don't have a Yamaha pedal, but I tell you what I do have, but it's not a distortion, but I did get my hands on a Lion built by Washburn, and I'm trying to get a distortion pedal from them. Do have a distortion pedal from one of those companies, though, sitting in there. And that's why I wish I could set this up in my guitar and pedal room, because I can't see it, but it's a vintage distortion pedal that's not too bad. Again, you know, make sure your cables are good. It depends on your pickup, your guitar, your picking style, your playing style, the amp you're using. You know, these pedals aren't going to work on every amp. One pedal may sound great on one of your amps, but you move it to a different amp and you can't get the same sound. That's just how it is, guys. If you're new to this, if you're new to playing, new to collecting or building, just be prepared for that. Just because somebody says something's great, that's on their rig. You don't know how it's going to sound when you get it home. So don't run out and just spend money on, you know, the biggest thing because somebody says it's the only thing that's great, because it may not be great for you. You know, get what's great for you. And don't be afraid to buy a $30 pedal. You never know. I see a lot of guys have them on their boards, and they're quite happy with them, while other guys only want to play $600 pedals, and that's fine too. If it sounds great on their board, that's what they should be playing. But don't be intimidated by people trying to tell you what you got to have. because you don't. Oh, the Line 6 black box. I don't have that, but I did just get the Line 6, what is it, DL4? The Mark 1, the first, the original. And I tell you what, Line 6 pedals, you may not like the amps. I have a Line 6 Spider. I think it's the Spider 4. And it's a basic amp. You can do what you can with it. But that delay pedal, that vintage delay pedal is really nice. So yeah, if you get a chance to pick up the Line 6 pedals, any of the lines, especially the vintage ones, grab them. They make great pedals. And even their multi platforms, people love them, and their digital platforms, people love. Nothing wrong with Line 6. Don't be fooled because people don't like the amps that the pedals are not good, because the pedals are. And their distortion pedals rock just like that delay pedal does. I'm trying to get my hands on more of the Line 6 pedals. Tell you, it's hard. I know a lot of people out there ask me, you got this, you got that, get this, get that. Yeah, you know, I still got to pay bills, so it can get a little difficult. But if I find a deal on something, I usually jump on it. But shop those marketplace ads. I'm telling you right now, you can find things on there that you'd be very happy with. Yeah, absolutely. Guy here just wrote they have the DL4 and calls it a Swiss Army knife, and he's absolutely right. And I like they have some analog dry through delay options. Yes, I noticed that too. Only thing about mine I have to be careful of is that mine, two of the knobs are loose, and I can't figure out how to tighten them, or if it's the pot itself. So I have to be careful with it, and I'm afraid to touch it too much. But I have played with that, and you're absolutely right. The the M5 and the M9 are good ones too. Yes, very nice pedals, but hard to find sometimes, man. You get on eBay, and people on eBay, especially people that don't deal with pedals, but they get their hands on some, and they look and see that somebody's trying to sell it really high, so they throw a price on there that's ridiculous. That's tough to deal with. But I tell you, I got my DL4 for only on eBay for $85 plus $10 shipping, or it was $80, $10 shipping. And even with the loose knobs and the battery cover missing, I wasn't going to pass that up, because they're running much higher than that. Got the numbers wrong. Oh, the M5. Wait a second. Oh, not the M10, the M5. Okay. Yeah, like I said, I don't know much about those Yamaha pedals. I need to get my hands on some so I can check them out, man. And it's a lot of those old pedals. Like I said, you get on eBay, those distortion pedals. And also, I've got a distortion pedal that I got from Delta Lab. I got the Delta Lab Rock Distortion, the black box. And you know, it looked all good. If you don't see enough pictures, ask, man, because I got that pedal. They didn't show anything on the back. They didn't mention that the battery cover was missing, which, you know, a lot of pedals they are. I've got 3 DOD pedals. None of them have the battery covers. And like I said, my DL4 doesn't have a battery cover, but they didn't mention it, and that bothered me. And then it had a ton of corrosion where the battery sits. No battery was hooked up to it, but it didn't have the cover and had a ton of corrosion, and neither one was pictured or mentioned in the write-up. So make sure that you dig deep, you know, ask everything you want to ask, see what they got. Does gain delay one. Yeah, here's somebody's talking about the Line 6 stop box modeler. Does gain delay modulation, and they also call it a Swiss Army knife. I think that all those Line 6 boxes, those big ones, are going to be Swiss Army knives for the most part, because you can mix and match all kinds of stuff on them things. I do not have the distortion one yet. I definitely want to get my hands on it and check it out. I only have the delay one, the DL4, but I do love that thing. And I would recommend it. If you can get it at a good price, definitely grab it. Even if you don't use it all the time, put it on the shelf and just own it. And if you do, see how great it can sound, and it mixes into your mix good, you may find yourself with it on the board, but you're going to have to get a bigger board, because that thing's a pretty good size and it weighs quite a bit. But like this, I tell you what, I haven't ever had a regular pedal weigh as much as this thing. The Ibanez Tube Screamer TS, what do I have? The TS9. That thing weighs a metric ton. And the other one that weighs a metric ton like that is the Delta Lab pedals. So if you get the Delta Lab pedal, be ready for how much it weighs. Yeah, you're right. Ozzy, the Line 6 is great at delays and reverbs. Like I said, I haven't got to try one of their overdrive pedals yet, but the delay is great. I haven't tried the reverb either, but I'm finding that I am learning to use reverb much better than before. I used to never use different pedals in that. I ran straight into the head of my Marshall until I had the tubes changed, and whatever he did to it destroyed the tone that I was used to having with and I used mainly a BC Rich with a Screaming Demon in it, and it was exactly what I wanted. Then when I got it back, it wasn't. So I started getting into pedals, and I mainly use distortion or overdrive pedals, but I've learned to use some reverb delay. I'm finding a lot of stuff. Some of the octave pedals like that octave divider from Behringer, I really like playing with. A lot of pedals you don't want to use on your board every day. You're not going to use them in concerts and put them in songs, but they sure are fun to play with. But distortion and overdrive at DS1, I picked it up. It was kind of fizzy, but it has taught me a lot about what I'm looking for. And Level Up Effects built me a dual channel overdrive pedal. And matter of fact, my ex-followers named it for me, the Hair of the Dog gain pedal. And I really like it. I can stack those two. And that's another thing for you new guys and people newer to this. Stacking overdrives and stacking distortion and overdrive in that, man, feel free to do it. And whichever one you want to put first is just a preference. I run my overdrive first and my distortion second to pick it up. And then I run a boost pedal on top of that I had built that take it up another notch when needed. But mixing and matching, man, again, don't let people tell you what you have to do. Yes, there is a preferred order, and we're going to talk about that later on in another broadcast of signal chain. But signal chain is a rule just like anything else meant to be broken. And if you like your stuff a certain way, you like your delay after your reverb, do it. Even though reverb's supposed to be the last one in the chain. Fuzz is supposed to be number one. Now, I will say this about fuzz pedals. Most fuzz pedals, especially vintage ones, are built to be the first pedal in your line because it works directly with your pickups. So you need to keep it there if you can. Does that mean you have to? No, move it around if you want, see what you like, see what you think. But you're going to probably find you're going to get better results with it if you run it first. You can put your tuner in front of it if you want, but you know what I found? You just put it at the very beginning and then run everything after it. But the DIY pedal building, you know, I did a show on one. If you look at my channel on the One Control, what was it? The Jubilee Red. And now I got it on my board. Let me tell you something. I ran it yesterday. I did a cleanup video of a guitar for a friend of mine's daughter, a starter guitar. And I ran it through that DIY pedal and put it into my Marshall. And let me tell you something. It rocked. Some of those DIYs, now you can get DIY kits for distortion and overdrive and fuzz that are non-solderless. That's where you kind of just put it together and close it up. Or you can get ones that you can solder. And if you do a good job with your soldering and make sure that all your connections and all your parts are in there right, DIY pedals are great. I mean, they'll save you money most of the time because they're not charging you for putting it together. They're just charging you for putting the kit together. And I got a couple of builder friends that are putting together DIY kits to sell. And everybody's jumping on that bandwagon. And the one thing about a DIY kit I will say is that if you put one together and you get good at it and you enjoy it, nothing stops you from starting to build your own pedals. Because the biggest part of doing that to me is the soldering. I am horrible right now. I've got two guitars that I need to tear apart that I had changed pickups and that and started working on doing that myself. And I know my soldering jobs were horrible when I first did them about a year ago. So I'm getting ready to tear them down, the red silver tone bass and oh my, something else. I can't remember which guitar it was that I opened up. But I know the bass I got to take back apart, and I'm going to resolder it now that I've practiced a little bit. And yeah, and you're absolutely right. With doing your DIY kit, if you don't like a component that comes in it, just buy a different component that you do like. There's thousands of resistors and diodes and transistors and that out there that are for sale. And like I said, some friends of mine that do build Level Up, Scar, Skull FX, Vintage Volt, all of them, they buy all their own stuff, and they you can breadboard it so you can see how it sounds and then put it together. There's nothing wrong with that, man. I encourage everybody out there, even though I encourage you to try some of these other pedals, you know, that you might find that work good. Start building. There's nothing wrong with building a pedal. I wished I could. I'm thinking about getting a breadboard. Dan over at Level X has been trying to talk me into getting a breadboard thing and set up. I've gotten pretty good that I can tell a builder what I'm looking for, and everything that I've had built that's on my board, my TPD1 game machine from Ivy Pedals, my Hair of the Dog Overdrive from Level Up, my fuzz pedal from Scar, is all built to what I asked for. And I have Safumato is building me a straight up, I think, hardcore distortion pedal using some ideas that I had. For them to do that, if I could do it myself, would be really nice. Then I wouldn't have to lean on friends to do it. But yeah, spend some time to learn, to get you a breadboard, and you just poke the your resistors and stuff into it and see what you get. And if you like it, then you can take it off and build it. If you don't, take it apart and try again. There's no soldering involved in the breadboard setup. Your own tube amps. Yeah, and I know Vintage Volts builds his own tube amps, and man, that's awesome that you do that. I have to take a look at your site. If you got a site, send me a link. I'd like to see what you're building. But yeah, try DIY kits. Try the solderless one first. That's what I did. I enjoyed putting it together. It wasn't no big deal. I mean, I didn't have to do a bunch of stuff to it, but the DIY kit was like $45 cheaper than buying the pedal itself, and went together well, real fast. Even my wife didn't get bored watching me do it. The only tool I had to have with the one control kits, they supply everything but the screwdriver. So even though I really don't care for the cheap wrenches that they send, but they do put them in there. But so you can build it. Just get you a screwdriver and you can throw down on it. And yeah, I'd recommend giving it a try. I'm all for anybody building something that they want. Like I said, I wished I could, but since I don't, these are the pedals, and this isn't everything I do. I just wanted to bring some in here I could share with you. Some of the other companies, like I said, Ure has a lot of pretty decent pedals under $30. Joyo, you get the Dark Flame. Now the prices on the Joyo pedals have started moving up, so watch what you think you're going to get. I know the 1030 series is still running under $50 for the most part. You can get the Ultimate Drive, the British, the AC Tone, the Extreme Metal, I think all under $60, but the R series, the Revolution series have gone up. So if you're going to get the Dark Flame or the Uzi or the Tai Chi, a couple others, you may be looking around $80 now, $70. Still a good price for them. They're good pedals, great pedals, put together well, but they are going to be more expensive. Also, for you guys that knock the Behringer pedals, just remember now, the same people that build this are now building this. So just beware. I don't want you to say, well, Behringer pedals are horrible, but you're buying TC Electronics, because that's who's building most of them now. And both pedals are actually pretty good. Just the plastic cases. And, people complain about these distortion pedals and plastic cases from Behringer, but don't forget that back in the day, Ibanez had plastic cases, and people still love those. So make sure you check that out. And there's a few companies that actually used plastic back in the day. I know Ibanez did, and there was a couple of, I want to say Maxon, but I may be wrong about that. So if somebody knows, send me a quick thing so that I can correct that and tell you yes or no. But a few of those companies that built those pedals used plastic back in the day. So Behringer's not the first, and they won't be the last, I'm telling you now. And if you're not touring, these plastic cases ain't too bad. Now, I wouldn't recommend them to somebody that's going to tour or somebody that's playing at the club every weekend. But if you're playing at the house and that, they're just fine. Somebody's saying PV had plastic cases back in the day. So that may be correct. I know the one I got is a tank. A follower from X was kind enough to give me a PV pedal because he had two of them, and that thing must weigh 8 pounds, and I could kill somebody with it if I threw it at him. But I think you're right. I'm thinking back, PV may have had some. And Arion, not Maxon. I know that's what I was thinking of. Arion's stereo chorus was plastic, and a few of their other pedals I think were plastic. And Maxon still may have, but Arion was the one I was thinking about. Matter of fact, yes, I have a distortion pedal from Arion that is plastic. That's the one I was talking about. I wanted to go get, but I didn't want to leave you all looking at a blank screen. Yes, they were plastic, and you have to be very, very careful with those old Arions when you pull the battery cover off if you're going to put a battery in it. Because I broke mine. I had to super glue the thing back together, put it back in because I wanted to make sure it didn't have a battery in it. Because when you buy pedals, that's another thing. If you buy them off eBay or have them shipped, make sure you check them as soon as you get to them if they use a battery, if they'll take a battery. Because most people don't even realize there's a battery in them or they left one in it. And get them things out. If you don't want to use the battery, if you don't use it, get the battery out of it. So I broke mine. I super glued it, got it back together, and I'll never open it again because I don't want it to break again. But yeah, it's another thing to check on your pedals when you get them. If they ship to you, make sure you check that battery. And if you're using metal pedals, not metal as in a heavy metal pedal, but a pedal that's made out of metal and not using the battery, but it takes a battery, make sure that you cap off that battery thing on the inside so it doesn't, the metal of the battery connection doesn't touch your metal housing. Tape it up with some electrical tape or put something in it to shield it to make sure that you're getting the best sound, because it can add a little bit of hum or even short a little bit if you let that metal inside touching the metal of the inside of your pedal. So always open them up, check for that if they do. And also for now, my channel's always been geared for new people or people just getting into pedals, people just getting into playing. I know some of you shredders and guys that have been around a while, and I appreciate you being here because you teach me a lot, but you may know this stuff. So please don't think I'm talking to you like you're dumb. I just want to make sure everybody understands it. I use power supplies. I don't use batteries. Vessel One. I use a One Control Minimal Series Destro Mark II isolated power supply for my main board and for my demo board. That thing is outstanding. I do use a cheap Azor power supply for the bass demos on the other amp when I have to use it. I have a Gator power supply that's running the board right now that I have my pedals hooked to while I'm using the One Control on the demo board. I also have a Donner board that has a power supply built in from Donner that runs my Boss board. And I've been pretty happy with most of my power supply so far. But that Distro Mark II is my main power supply, and it's a dream. It has one outlet that you can move it to from 9 to 12 to 18 volts, and I really like it. And it's got a 500 mega amp connector, and then it's got all the rest are hundreds. I think I've got two 200s on it. It's got 10 connections, and that is my main power supply. And I know a lot of people like the Voodoo, and they do the same thing. You can get the best Voodoo, and it has everything on it. Great power supplies. That's another thing. Make sure you match your power supply up to your pedals. So if your pedal needs 180, 200 mega amps to be at top, make sure that you've got that. Don't plug it into a 100 because you're not going to get what you're supposed to out of it. Another thing is don't plug a 100 into a 9 volt into a 12 or an 18 volt connector, because you can damage your pedal. Make sure your pedals match up. If you're not sure, get online and look it up, because you don't want to destroy, even if it's a $40 pedal, $50 pedal, you don't want to destroy it just because you plugged it into the wrong power unit. Just like if you're using individual power units with the plug, like my Boss ME50, I have the power supply, it runs it. So I plug it straight in. But if you have one of those multi-platforms or even a regular pedal, and you've got a bunch of these little power supply things sitting around that you used to use on your computers and stuff like that, you got to make sure that it's the right one. Also, remember that a lot of your other pedals use different power supplies. I had to order a power supply from my Line 6 DL4 because since there was no battery cover, I couldn't fill it with batteries, and and because it takes C batteries, which is very strange. But I had to order a special power supply for it, and the PV pedal, the vintage PV pedal, had to have a power supply ordered for it because it was different. No, actually, I used my Nady one from my old Nady wireless. I looked up, made sure that it was the same, and I think it was that one is the one I use on it. But yeah, make sure you match up your power supplies. That's just as important as your cables or anything else because you can damage it. And get you a power supply that has one connector in it that you can up your voltage or your mega amps, well, voltage, whatever you want to call it, so that you get the best sound out of it. We just gave away a TPD1 Game Machine Deluxe that will go take 9 or 18, and that 18 volt really does make a difference, if you put it on there. So you can run it on 9 or get you 18. I also have a 12 volt one. It's 9 or 12 volts. But again, like I said, I'm geared to put this channel together for people that were more starting in that. So if I say something and you think it's wrong because you've been in a while or you want to add something, please feel free to throw it out there so that I know. Opinions on the TS9. Well, I just showed that. I know you just probably joined us. I have a TS9 right here. Little MIDI, but on my big Marshall, I can take the mids out on my JCM 800. And I prefer to use this as a boost more than an overdrive, because if I put my preamp on my JCM 800 on 10, I can get the sound I need that this would do for a breakup. But I put that on there to boost it some, or I can put it on there and boost another overdrive pedal. It works just fine. And like, excuse me, guys, sorry about that. And like I said, for those that maybe want one of these, but can't really find one or can't afford it, this right here is maybe your answer, because this has the TS9 and the TS808 with the toggle on it. So you can change it, and you can get this under 50 bucks. Like I said earlier, this one I got a great price on Marketplace, and I only, so it can be done if you want to try it. These tube screamers, man, it's all about opinion on these things. A lot of people love them. This is probably the best selling pedal ever in the world besides the DS1 from Boss. And then a lot of people get them and don't like them. They end up just putting them in a box, which is how I got this one. But so get this and use what you think when you put it on your rig. But I can recommend it. It's a good pedal. It's heavy. Don't fill your whole board with these Ibanez pedals or you're not going to be able to carry it around. But matter of fact, let's see what it weighs. Let's check it out right now. But good pedal. Yeah, Joshua, I have that board. I actually had that. Hold on one sec. This pedal weighs 1 pound, 0.9 ounces. Well, 1 pound, 1.9 ounces. That's pretty heavy for a pedal, considering that the DS1 weighs 12.4 ounces. So yeah, you're talking 1 pound for that pedal. But yeah, the TS9, it's a good pedal, especially for somebody starting out, new to the pedal world. It's definitely worth checking out and having on your rig. The Marshall HDFX 100. I'm guessing you mean the MG 100 HDFX, which is the one I have, unless they do have the other one. It's I like it. A lot of people give me a lot of crap over using it for some of my demos and that, but I got to use it I use the clean channel on it because my JCM 800 is not going to be clean. I can turn it way down and it sounds good, when I try to clean it up. But my JCM 800 it's not a high gain head anyway, like a lot of people think, but I do push it pretty hard. I use the HDFX MG 100 as my clean channel. Even the dirty channel is okay. I have no problem with that amp. I've got the white one, and it sits on top of an MG cabinet. And for all my clean stuff, all my clean demos, and even putting a dirty pedal on it on the clean channel to see how it sounds, I don't have no complaints. I don't know what everybody gets upset about. Like I said, it's all a matter of taste when it comes to your tone. You can't chase somebody else's tone. Everybody, you might want to sound like Randy or King Eddie or Yngwie or Fripp or Al Demiola, but you're not going to sound just like them, because biggest thing is You don't play like them. You're not going to have their picking attack and everything else. So you get what sounds good to you. And if you like that HEFX 100, don't let nobody tell you otherwise. I personally like it. I don't like my Line 6, Spider 4, 5, whichever one it is. My Excalibur crate, it's okay. It's a bit hissy, and you can tell it's a solid state when I crank it up on the dirty channel. My PV stereo chorus, my old one, the dirty channel don't work on it. I bought it, and I bought it for the clean side anyway, and it's beautiful. Even though somebody took one of the speakers out, and I had to buy a crate speaker to replace it. It's got the Scorpion and a crate speaker, and it sounds good. I will replace that with another Scorpion speaker or another PV speaker someday. But I'm happy with how it sounds now. My Katana Mark 1, I got it sitting on top of everything. Sometimes y'all hear it. It's a good amp. I tell you what, those Katanas do anything you want. I've got a Gen 3 head, 100-watt head upstairs sitting behind my chair with one of my guitars that I practice while me and the wife watch TV. She hates it, but, we jam. And I use the onboard effects on that thing, and I love it. And I want to put it on top of my Hughes and Kettner or my Soldano. But right now I've got an old PV PA standard head on top of the Soldano. I use it for clean. It's all up to you, man. It's whatever you like. That just saying you'd like a JCM or a Mark II Mesa Boogie, totally different amps, but both great amps. That Marshall HDFX though is going to do you just fine till you can afford it. Because I tell you what, you can afford that MG 100 a whole lot more than you can enjoy. You can afford that JCM 800 right now. But if you want to save up and get it, man, I do. I love my JCM 800. I wouldn't trade it for anything in the friggin' world. But yeah, Vessel, you're absolutely right. Tone is subjective. Your tone, my tone. I may say your tone. I don't understand how anybody can say somebody's tone sucks, because their tone is their tone. That's the tone they want. That's the tone they're playing with, or they may be searching for their tone. So, I stay away from judging people's stuff. I love Edward's sound on the first 2-3 albums. I love the Brown sound. What he did when he went digital and kind of changed up a little bit with the Sammy days, still great. It's Eddie. God, my God, it's going to always be great. But I prefer his straight Brown sound he used in the early days, overdriving those Marshalls until they exploded. But they're really good. I don't let somebody dog you on your tone. That's the main thing. Any of these distortion pedals will work for somebody, and they're all under $100. Matter of fact, everything I showed you today, except from maybe the Big Muff Pi, is under $80, and a lot of them are under $40 and $30. You put it on your amp, and you find what you like. Hey, you run with it, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise. I hate when I hear people say, "Well, that pedal sucks. You need to spend $500 to get this," because it's all in what you spend. You get what you pay for. No, I mean, some build quality is a whole lot better. I mean, yeah, you're going to get better build quality from a Wazacraft Boss that's hand wired in Japan than you might with a, let's say, one of the Delamo pedals that's mass produced in China. Yeah, the quality is going to be a little better, but if you're not traveling in that, you don't have to worry about all that. If you're not moving your pedal board every night to a new venue, you're going to be okay. No, I don't believe taking your Tolex off your cabs really changes anything. It's all in the speaker, the build, the way some of them, the back, the way they scoop, the way they move things around may help or diminish, but taking the Tolex ain't going to change anything. I haven't taken it off any of mine, even though I did want to change the Tolex because I want some of those red Marshalls. And every time I find one, somebody wants $2,000 for the cab alone. So I'm not going to do that. So I thought about changing mine, but taking it off and just leaving it off, nah, I personally don't feel that's going to change anything. If anybody out there has a different idea on that, let me know. But I would say no. Yeah, that's true, Ozzy. Digital is good. He says it never retains price or value. I don't think it ever will. I don't think anything in digital has ever retained its value in the long run, because everything that everybody's chasing now, the Klon, everybody wants the Klon. That's the what do you want to call it? The holy grail of overdrive pedals. It's not digital, and the price just keeps going up. I haven't seen a digital delay pedal. I have you know what? I have a digital distortion pedal. I forgot. Cool Music builds a pedal, and it's actually called the digital distortion. It has like 8 distortions on it. It's all digital, and it's okay. But for me, digital through my JCM 800, I know a lot of people use these digital boards and run straight into the head or into the front of house, and I think that's probably a great thing. But I'm not big on digital. I like my analog stuff much better. Now I have some digital pedals, and I'm not knocking them. Some digital delays. I have the Boss digital delay. It seems to be fine. Some of my other pedals are digital, but I'm an analog guy, I think, and I will stay one. I still like Behringer. Dude, I love Behringer. Let me tell you, I just bought the Chorus Symphony and the Octave Divider, and they're huge. They are bulky. They're gonna each need their own board, but I love playing with them. If stage is silent, it is good. If not, it's a curse. I hear you guys. But yeah, Vezel. You like Behringer? Buy them, man. I've got a Behringer board. I've got the board built by Behringer. I've got all 12 pedals on it are Behringer, and I've got 6 Behringer pedals that could go on it that are sitting on a shelf. There's nothing wrong with Behringer, man. If you like Behringer, play Behringer. Most of their clones are straight off of Boss pedals. And unless you broke it or beat it or thrown it around or crushed it, most of them sound really good. I mean, are they Boss? No, they're not going to be Boss, but they're not bad at all. Hey, Jeff just made it in. This is the guy from Scar Industries that's building fuzz pedals and boost pedals right now. If you haven't tried his Cat's Ass Fuzz, which we just gave one away, make sure you take a look at it. I've got another one here. I'm getting ready to start putting out some demos of, and hopefully mine will make it here pretty soon. Hint, hint. But yeah, if you can keep your stuff quiet on stage, it's going to be good anyway. I mean, that's what we're all looking for, right? But you know, it's funny because people go, well, I hear a little hiss or I hear this, you know, a little bit of that. You know, we all love Josh Scott. We all love that channel. And I'm not mocking it because I do. Even my wife knows who he is now. She stops on everything when it's going through the TV on the YouTube and puts it on and we listen to it. So, but if you listen sometimes, he'll hook a pedal up to that little white amp, which I'm guessing is some sort of Fender type amp. And when he mashes it, you hear a little bit of hiss, and everything he's got is top of the line. So a little bit of hiss is probably not going to kill nobody. And I judge it off of him because he is the guy that we all strive doing these channels to be at some time. And I hear hiss in his stuff sometimes. So if you get a little bit of hiss, don't panic. But you don't want a bunch of noise. So if you're getting noise, check your cables first. If you're using a wireless, check your wireless. I have 3 wireless systems, but my Nady, my vintage Nady is down. I can't figure out what I did to it, but it's sat in a closet for almost 20 years. So that could have something to do with it. Matter of fact, Jeff, I might be sending it to you to see what happened to it. But my other 2, I have pedals I can hook them up to, and they sound horrible. And it's the pedal. Sometimes pedals aren't made to be used with wireless, you know, these new wireless systems, because then I can run it on other stuff and not hear a thing. You wouldn't even know I had a wireless hooked up to it. It's also got a lot to do with your pickups and that and your guitar. If you got really hot pickups, sometimes some wireless systems can't handle them. That's another thing to remember about fuzz pedals. Sometimes your wireless systems aren't built to handle, or the fuzz pedals aren't built for that. You know, that's why they're first in the chain. They interact directly with your pickups, and you put something in there it don't like, it's not going to sound good. So a lot of new people just joined us, and just anybody that doesn't know me and hadn't followed me for a big amount of time. First of all, I do demo budget pedals for the most part. Everything I do is budget friendly, and I do that because of a lot of newer folks don't know a whole lot about pedals. I didn't when I got into this. They don't want to spend a ton of money. I didn't want to mortgage my house and buy a Strymon because everybody said that was the only pedal you had to own. You couldn't use anything else. And I found that's a lie. So my channel is geared towards newer folks, people just getting back into playing, maybe been out of it for 10, 15, 20 years. So if any of you old timers that have been doing this for years and know more than I do, because I don't know everything. Please, if you hear me say something that you don't agree with or don't think's right, throw it up there so that I can correct it. I don't want to send anybody in the wrong direction, but I'm just warning the old timers why I talk about the things I do and the way I talk about it is it because that's who it's geared towards. It's not geared towards you. You probably already know, but I'm hoping maybe I can show you something new that you haven't tried. But I guess man, we've been on here for quite a while, but our audience grew quite a bit, and I appreciate everybody coming to hang out with me. Anybody else got any questions or anything else they want to throw out there? And yeah, the cat's ass. Now it's not the cat's ass fuzz. Make sure you get that right, Basil. It's the cat's ass. AZZ fuzz. So and I'll throw that up here for you. Oh, that was wrong. There we go. But I'm still trying to learn how to use all this stuff, so please bear with me as I'm going through it. It's our first time, so I do appreciate you guys coming out here. Anybody got any suggestions or anything? Throw them up there. Needs to be more love for. Oh, dude, you were definitely talking to the right guy. And now we're getting off subject. These are all things I was hoping we could do at some time if this went over pretty well. But you are right. Anybody that don't love BC Rich guitars, man, come on, give them a chance. I've got 5, 6. Now I have reloaded almost all of them with different pickups, but I love my BC Riches. I've got a Warlock with EMGs. I've got a ST3 that I reloaded with 2 fat stacks from Seymour, and I got a Screaming Demon in the back of it. I have one that has an SH6 in the back and the 2 stock in the front. That's a Distortion. That's the Seymour Duncan Distortion. I have one that has the Dime Bucker, the SH13, and that is a hot pickup. Do not try to use it with fuzz. I can tell you that now. And I have a Mockingbird that has 2 SH1s in it. I use it for mainly clean tones, but sometimes I like to just throw it up there and push out some high end, a lot of highs in the distortion pedal, because that thing is pretty clean. But yeah, I'm with you, man. BC Rich guitars definitely need a lot more love, and we need to get people more involved. The only thing about BC Rich, I will say to you guys that I do have a Black Winter. I just sent it off to somebody, and they're putting it in a guitar they're building for me. So I hope to get that back. I haven't tried the Shredzilla. I haven't tried any of the new guitars, and I got to just warn people that if you do get the new BC Rich Gunslinger, it is not the same. It is not like the 80s and early 90s vintage Gunslingers. That is the guitar I want. That is my holy grail guitar that I'd love to add now that I've got my Gibson V. But yeah, you can get those, and be careful. People will try to tell you if you're not a novice in the BC Rich world, they will tell you that the ST3 is a gunslinger because of the body style, but the ST3 has 2 single coils and a double coil. I've heard some even had 3 single coils back in the day. I've never seen one, but just beware. But a gunslinger, 1 pickup like the Beretta, 1 double coil in the back, humbucker, and it's all you needed. The Big R. Oh man, I don't have any with the Big R. I wish I did. I'd like to have a Seagull or something with the Big R on it. But I do have a couple of NJs. My Warlock's an NJ, one of my ST3s. Maybe both of them are NJs. But I do have a platinum Mockingbird that I had repainted. I had it painted pink, and anybody that's wondering why I had it painted pink, it was for my mother. She was fighting breast cancer back in the day, and I wanted to put a paint job on that guitar because it was an ugly blue that had been beat up pretty good when I bought it. So I painted it pink for her. But I do love the pink anyway, and it will stay that way even though I've lost her since. But that's the pink Mockingbird you guys see me play sometimes. But yeah, if anybody out there hadn't tried a BC Rich, one of the vintage ones, pick one up. Try it out. You used to be able to get them cheap. They're starting to make a comeback with people, with collectors and the prices, because I bought my ST3s for $100 or less both times on eBay in 2002. And now I can't find them for under $500-$600, at best. And then some of them up over 1,000. Gunslingers are running 1,000 to 1,500, 1,800 now. So yeah, if you're gonna you want to check them out, do. check them out. The bronze ones are the only ones I'd stay away from unless you just want something you can build yourself, throw a pickup in it, and do something yourself with it. But I'm not big on the bronze ones. But platinum and up, platinum series, I do have a body art. That's the one that has, it's an assassin. That's the one that has the dime bucker in it, and that is a high octane guitar. 10, dang, somebody said that they looked at some on Reverb and they're wanting 10 grand from them, and that's ridiculous. I do know that they make the V, they've got the V's that Kerry King in that play, and they're pretty hot right now. I've been wanting to add one, but now I got the Gibson V and I got a Jackson V. I really don't need another V. So I don't remember the model. I just remember it being probably a King V or something. Thack Mild, thanks for joining us. And like I said, BC Rich is a good guitar. It's like a pedal. It's what you like. When you look at guitars, you look at pedals. I know a lot of people just buy. Dude, I've got a Harley Benton that I would put up against almost anything. I'd like to change the pickup a little bit on it, maybe in the back, but doing single, it's got the push pulls on it. Great neck, not as heavy as a real Gibson Les Paul. And I know some people that's all they have, Fireflies and Harley Bentons, and they're very happy with them. You put a good setup on them, they'll play as good as anything else. Oh yeah, Charvel passing away. Yeah, it's a moment of silence for him. Okay, but Charvel is another guitar I need to add and try with my pedals. Great pedal guitars. I tell you what, that's what they were built for. The 80s was all about what? Heavy distortion and a lot of chorus. So he built those for that. VRBC Rich guy, but the guitar really stood out. Yeah, you don't have, and a lot of people don't like Gibson, but they always find one that they end up playing. Same with Fender. I've never played. I've got a Squire Strat. I didn't care to play it very much because of where the knob, that volume knob, the way I learned to play was on a fixed bridge with Les Paul style, or even the BC Riches that I played for years. The volume knob's down away from it, and when I picked up that Squire, every time I tried to do something, I was turning it down, or if I turned it down, I was turning it up with my pinky by accident. So that's the guitar I have to get used to. Like anything else, you got to get used to the ones you're going to play. Yeah, 70s and 80s BC Rich, just like PBs. You get your hands on any of those 80. I got an 86 or an 85 PBT 60. Love that guitar. Man, I love that guitar. And a lot of people compliment me on that guitar, and I got a rare color on it. I've only seen 3 like it in the 40 years that I've had it. That wood grain. Let's see. Wow, a lot of people starting to get involved now. Thank you. Oh, the Arbor Flying V. Dude, I remember those things. And matter of fact, when I was in high school, the guitar player that played lead in my band, I've always been a rhythm player, he played one of those Arbor Vs, and it was red with black tiger stripes, and I had a Ibanez Destroyer 2 that was purple with yellow zebra stripes. I don't know how good we were as a band, but we sure were loud. Let me tell you. And we both played PV amps. He played a Bandit 65, and I played a Bandit. In fact, we may have had the same amps. We may have both played Bandit 65s, and it was we were a sight to behold. Let me tell you. I miss that Destroyer though. But all those guitars also are getting back to what we was discussing. Pedals, they all run pedals really well, and black with white polka dots. I would like to get a Fernandez black with white polka dots, just because being a Rhodes fan. I know all guitar players have their heroes. Mine, run with Rhodes, Lynch, and Vi are my 3 top guys. I love all 3 of those dudes and what they brought to the table. But doesn't mean that I don't know that Eddie was a god. I know that Jimmy was a god. I don't look down on any guitar players. But those were my 3 guys. And yeah, I'd love to have a Kamikaze. I'd love to have a white with black, or black with white polka dots. I do have a Gem. I did finally get my hands on a Gem. I got the yellow one with the pink pickups and the green. Well, I had to buy green knobs because somehow it had black knobs on it. I don't know how that happened. But and it also had the Tree of Life. It had to have that. I know that some of the cheaper ones didn't quite. At the early days, I don't think they actually put the Tree of Life on them, but I had to have that on mine. I had Destroyer 2 and Bandit. Heck yeah, man. Those Destroyers and those Bandits weighed a ton, dude. I remember that. And everything weighed a ton back then. My PV weighs a ton. Hetfield, fantastic guitar player. I agree with you, man. That's why I say I don't look down Dimebag. I know a lot of people want to try and put him down or something for some reason because he's a heavy guitar player. Dude, his pinch harmonics and stuff are unbelievable. I love his stuff. Zach, of course, the only thing Zach will ever have problems with is he'll always be compared to Jake and Randy. It'll never go away. But I tell you what, he holds it well, and I love some of the stuff he does. I like Hammett though. I wish they would have gotten a little bit away from the wah pedal a little bit. But Prince, dude, come on now. We all know Prince is an amazing musician. Guitar player aside, just a musician in general. Mega Dave. I'm guessing Dave Mustaine. But yeah, you're right. They're all great, man. But you need to go online and find some of these guys' pedal boards. You'll be surprised at what these guys use. You know, Prince only had Boss pedals on his board the last time I saw it, and he only had 4 or 6 pedals, and they were all Boss. There was nothing else on there. So yeah, you don't have to have $400 friggin' pedals. I mean, he could have bought anything he wanted, but the only thing he had on there were Boss pedals. I can't tell you what all they were. Everything I know, there was a compressor on there, and I think he had one of the synth wall or something on there, and an overdrive. But yeah, if you look at some of his live on the big stages, like at the Super Bowl and that, you'll see his pedal board in front of him, and it's all Boss. You look at some of the other guys, the guys from Aerosmith. There's nothing big expensive on there. Now, some of these guys do have a Klon. I've seen a couple of guys, they break like Mayer I think he has a Klon on his. I know he has a TS Tube Screamer on there. Yeah. You know, that's what a lot of people don't understand. I agree with you. When my Marshall JCM 800 was running with the old tubes in it, I didn't feel I needed any distortion or overdrive pedal, especially overdrive hooked to it. But now, you know, I put an overdrive on there and I can see I can just up it up a little bit. And there's a lot of good. The TS9 is a good one. Again, affordable, budget friendly. The Ultimate Drive from Joyo, the Uzi from Joyo, the New X65 overdrive, fantastic transparent overdrive to add to a JCM 800, man. Yeah, you're right. Boss has always done the trick, brother. How do you go wrong with Boss? I mean, do they make a bad pedal? I mean, they make some pedals I may not use all the time, but do they make a bad pedal? I just got my hands on a Boss synth wah pedal, a bass, and I use it with the bass, and it's fantastic, man. Who knew? And stick with it. If you love that TS9, man, it's a good pedal. There's nothing wrong with a TS9. Like I said, there are some other clones though that will work if people can't afford a TS9 or can't find it. You know, try out the Behringer. It's called the Tube Overdrive, I think, or Vintage Tube Overdrive, and it's green, and it's a really good pedal. Hey, Undead AG, you're absolutely probably right about that. He put in here, there's a saying that says, when in doubt, Boss is best. You know, if you're not sure what to get, and he's absolutely right. If you're not sure what to get and you want to stay under $100, I mean, now the Wazacraft pedals are going to cost you. Are they worth it? From what I'm hearing, absolutely. I've never tried a Wazacraft, but any Boss pedal, you want a distortion pedal, grab the DS1, the OD, the Super Overdrive. Man, I love my Super Overdrive pedal. If I didn't have my hair of the dog, the Super Overdrive pedal would be the one that I swore by and would use. I would take it anywhere. But yeah, you can't go wrong with Boss, man. In build and quality and sound, what they bring to the table, all the different ones you can have. Yeah, you're right. The SD1W, which is the Wazacraft. If they put the W after it, it's a Wazacraft for you guys that didn't know. And yeah, it goes for 170. It's not crazy, no, but it is up there. 170s out of, like I said, for you new guys that just came in. For me, budget friendly is $99 and less. A little bit more would be $100 to $129. Anything above that, I consider not in budget. but that doesn't mean it's not worth it. If you like, all the Wazacraft pedals are the same pedals as the originals, except for they tweaked them and moved some things around and added some stuff. So if you're wondering what the difference is, that's what it is. Let's see. A lot of stars use Boss. Only Robert Smith and The Cure is another. Yeah, yes, uses Boss. I don't know anybody that doesn't have at least one Boss pedal on their board somewhere. I think even Paul Gilbert has a Boss pedal on his. And Paul Gilbert's board is not a high dollar board in relation to what most people would think listening to him play, just like Steve Vai. Now, Vai does use Eventide. He was the one that kind of brought them to the forefront back in the 90s, 80s. But yeah, all those guys, their boards have normal pedals on them if you look around them. Waza DM2 is a fantastic analog delay. Yes, and it's another one that they added some stuff to. So it is a little bit different than the regular one. Let's see, Jeff. Everyone back in the day used Boss because they could be bought just, yeah, that was a big thing. Boss was everywhere. It still is. There's not a store you can walk into, used pawn shop, guitar store, anywhere that's not going to have a Boss pedal. I bought my Boss flanger in a pawn shop in Rockford, Illinois a couple of years ago for $10 because it was missing a knob and they had no, they couldn't test it because they didn't have any way to testing it. So he let me have it for $10. I got a knob offline and it's on my Boss board today. They only have Boss. There you go. Undead Edgy says he only has Boss on his board. Can't go wrong. There you go. I prefer analog or anything else whenever possible. Yeah, like we talked about earlier, analog is my way of going too. Is Paul's board? I know that JHS built Paul a pedal, but I also knew that he used to have a TC Electronics pedal on there. Jeff Shockley says that Paul's board is mostly made up of small batch builders now, and it could be now. Most of the stuff I see, I never realized that some of the YouTube videos that I pull up and watch are 6-8 years old at the time until I go back and watch them again. But I know that Josh built him a pedal that he's got on his board, and he's got a few others that I know were small batch. But he also used to have a TC Electronics pedal on there. He also has the TC Electronics tuner at one time. I don't know if he's changed that. And that's another thing, guys. Make sure you got a good tuner pedal. And it doesn't have to be a Peterson. You don't have to drop $800 on one. TC Electronics has a good tuner. Boss TU3 is a good tuner. Even though they are plus and minus 1 cent, the One Control tuner I just gave away is plus or minus 0.5 cent. It's a good tuner. Peterson is a fantastic tuner, but you can get up into $600-700 for some of their tuners. So, just beware. But a lot of good tuners out there. Donner makes an okay tuner. I think it's plus or minus 1 or plus or minus 2 cent. Some of the others. MXR would be my most owned by a mile. Yeah, MXR is a nice pedal. I've got a couple of them now. I heard OD3 is underrated and starting to get recognition. Yeah, all the Boss Overdrive pedals are. Like I said, I've got the Overdrive Distortion pedal. I think it's an ODS2 or something. And I love that pedal. It sits right behind my SD1. MXR, dude, what do they not build that's not good? I mean, most of my MXR pedals I'm pretty happy with. I've got a delay. I've got the analog delay, the analog chorus, and something else. Pretty happy with. TC Electronics, like I said, is another pedal. I don't think you can go wrong with TC Electronics. I'm not big on their shimmer reverb, that fluorescence that I got, and I did a demo of it a little while back. But this Grand Magus is really good. I've got that stereo flanger chorus pedal. I really like it. There's a couple others. I have the Afterglow is okay. The Thunderstorm's a really good flanger. So yeah, they're worth checking out. One Overdrive on your board. Which are you picking? Well, like I said, right now I have to go with my if we're just talking all pedals and what I have right now and all that, I would go with my Level Up Effects Hair of the Dog dual channel overdrive. That's mine. But if you're talking normal pedals that are out there that everybody can see, find, I would go with my SD1. That is the pedal for me overdrive wise. I really like it. Polytune Mini is solid, cheap, and has a great buffer. Yeah, see the Polytune from TC, I think that's TC Electronics, is a great tuner. some guy here says there's some great tuners that are free in the Android store. I'm not sure how they work, if you use a speaker or if you lay it on your guitar like some of the old tuners. Now, those headstock tuners that people are using, they're good in that, but you need to really be in tune. If you're getting ready to record, or you're one of those guys that you're playing like jazz or something, it's got to be perfect. I wouldn't really trust those headstock tuners to do that for you. Same with some of the free tuners, but those free tuners, if you don't have a tuner yet, definitely go into Android store and pull one up. They also have some great metronomes in there that you can use. I have a regular standing metronome, and but yeah, a lot of good free tuners and metronomes on in the Android store and the Apple store. DM2, I had a CE2 that was really awesome and versatile. So yeah, that's another one. That CE2, I have a great chorus, that super chorus from Boss, but I had a gentleman from a place called Ace Tone out of Holland that sent me what's called a California Swirl, and I actually put that on my board. My board, I have a Boss board, a Behringer board, a Joyo board, a Joyo 1030, a Joyo R series. I'm a completist, and it's sometimes a problem because I like a board to be, match everything up. And I do have a board, some boards that I mix and match a little, but my board is a board that's now made mainly of pedals that were made for me. My Ivy pedals, Gain Machine. Now the California Swirl wasn't made for me. He built that pedal, and I loved it. So he sent me one with my logo on it for the Tom's Pedal Demo show. So it is kind of mine, but it's not mine. But I love that chorus pedal. Anybody that hadn't tried it, and I've had some people that have heard it and actually written to me, DM me, wanting to know more about that pedal and that. I love that chorus pedal. But yeah, I replaced. I use my board more than the Boss board now. Let's see, thoughts on digital overdrive like the OD1X. That's getting back to the digital. I'm not a digital guy yet. I don't know if I will be. I just prefer analog. But the OD1, actually, I think about that Boss pedal that's the FX pedal where you can pay for or whatever and get things put into it. I think now don't kill me. Don't nobody go out there and want to shoot me. I think it's more of a fad. A lot of these digital pedals, I think they're fads. People will jump from one to the next as they upgrade them and come up, make each one a little bit better. But I think everybody that plays them, there's a reason they play them and they like them. Me, I'm going to be an analog guy till I die. Does that mean I don't have digital pedals? Absolutely. I get a little bit of everything. A lot of people hit on me and give me crap about having some really cheap pedals that aren't that good, like the Amazon pedals but that's what this show is for. I play these so you can hear them before you spend money on them. And I try to play them through different amps and give you different sounds and different looks, different guitars. So you can kind of go, hey, I kind of got an amp like that, or I do have that amp. I got pickups that are hot like that or not hot. So you can hear them in that. But I'll always, I think, just be an analog guy. I just really like analog. It feels more true to me. I don't know what that means. There's a lot of words used in this and pedals that, I guess I need to hear myself. But I'm going to stick with analog. But, if you like digital, dude, play digital. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. OD1, it's going to sound good. I just think that it's going to lose its luster and they're going to move to something else after a while. Carbon copy is worth the love simple analog delay. Yeah, that carbon copy falls into, you can get it used in the little bit more range. Every now and then I see one pop into the affordable range. Brand new, it is, a little bit up there. But I've heard a lot of people talk about that pedal, and it's analog. And I need to get one. That's one of the pedals I want to add. But, I can only get so many things at a time. I've done pretty good. I'm up to about 272 pedals in less than a year. And I try to cover what you guys want to hear. But after the trip to Sweetwater, man, I have had some great deals come through my eBay offers and marketplace in town. I've had to say no. I did buy one pedal I couldn't pass up. I got the Mosky King Rack coming because of the price. But I'm trying to keep up with you guys. But just stick with me. We'll get to a pedal that you like. I did add a little section in my show for boutique pedals that are expensive. because a lot of you guys kind of like that stuff. And I finally got my hands on a Chase Bliss, a remarkable pedal. But yeah, it's unless you want to not buy a new guitar or a new amp and just want a pedal, that's what you'd be looking at. But fantastic reflective digital. Oh my God. Something design. I got some, I can't remember the full name, but that's another reverb, ambient reverb pedal. Unbelievable. Hangman FX, this Dagger. My God, it's a gated distortion pedal, overdrive with some fun. Man, it'll do everything. It'll almost go to the bathroom for you if you ask it to. But let's see. Got the Peterson Strobo Stomp. It's a bit pricey, but not as high as you were talking about. It may be around 200. Okay, now that Stomp Strobo from Peterson, yeah, you're right. That's around $200. But if you get the one that you put on top of your table when you're working on guitars and that, you're going to get them to $400 or $500. They even have one that runs $900 that I looked at when I thought about getting into guitar, fixing in that to have the best. But they do have some Stomp strobes that you can get for under $200. Some of them you can even find for $125, and they're really good. They are top of the line and some of the best tuners you'll ever have. But again, yeah, you're going to pay a little bit for them. But if you need a good tuner, I mean, you got to stay in tune, guys. So there's nothing wrong with having the best tuner that money will buy. Let me tell you. Let's see. Yeah, I like simple, dude. Sometimes, I mean, everybody knows I love toggle switches, and I love playing with a lot of toggle switches and knobs. But you're right, that MXR micro chorus, one knob. I've got I've got that pedal, the yellow one, right? Yeah, sometimes just having one knob and turning it, that, man, how could it be any easier, any better, right? Speaking of bad, Wampler. You know what? I have not got to try a Wampler pedal yet. I sure want one. I'd like to have a couple, but no, I have not gotten a Wampler yet. So we'll have to see on that. I can't speak on it since I haven't got to play one. Yeah, somebody wrote, just say no to digital. I don't work on them. Digital is too perfect. Digital can only emulate. You know what? That may have been what I was looking for. You're absolutely right. Analog is organic. Digital is more of a, we're going to take this, and this, put it into a chip, and this is what it's going to sound like. And that's why they're mainly they're the big deal in modular amps and modular pedals, digital. You're absolutely right. I would agree with that. A lot of people won't, and you and me are probably gonna get a lot of hate for that. But you're absolutely right. I agree with that. There's no organic movement that that the analog has. Absolutely. You need it. And you're right, Undead. It's all in personal opinion. I mean, I'll never tell nobody don't buy digital. Digital sucks. Digital is the worst. No, just digital is not my thing. Wampler, good quality. If you don't like their sound, that just a preference. Yeah, no, that's with any pedal. I mean, if you're not sure you like the sound, then sell it or trade it. There's some places out there you can trade pedals, and if you got a Wampler pedal, you can trade it, get what you want. They are good quality. He builds great pedals, just like everybody else out there, like JHS, some of the others. Analog delay is a lot of fun, but if you're playing with some gain and not using effects loop, digital delay is better. Okay, that could be. You know what? I had never given it much thought. I know a lot of people out there talk about the difference between having the effects loop, the FX loop, and not having an FX loop. My JCM 800 does not have one, so don't be one of those guys that goes, why don't you run that through the FX loop when you see that I'm playing the JCM 800? Because it's a vintage amp and it doesn't have an FX loop. That's why I don't run it through it. But you see with the orange, I run almost everything through the FX loop except the fuzz and usually the distortion overdrive. Sometimes I will run the distortion or overdrive through the FX just to show people what it would sound like, running the bass straight into the head and then running the pedal into the FX loop. And when you see me do things like that, I'm just giving you a different look. So you don't have to correct me because I know I'm wrong on some things. I do, like I said, I tried to do wrong. That sounds horrible. Well, now we know. So now other people won't do it. It's ideal. See, that's what I run. I run the analog delay, that California swirl through the front of the head of my JCM 800, and I love that sound. And yeah, you do have to be careful. I'm with you. I like the dirty width to it sometimes. A lot of people may not like that, so you have to be careful because, of course, if you don't have an FX loop, you're preamping that. You're coming in before it, so it's going to mess with your sound, your tone a little bit. But again, it's different. A lot of people put their effects through the front of the head because they didn't have FX loops. Eddie, I'm pretty sure he didn't have any FX loops on those JC M800s he was using back in the 80s. Jimmy, straight through the head, so, it's all opinion. It's all in what you like. And that's what this all boils down to. It's all opinion. It's all your personal preference. Somebody used the right word up. I can't remember the word now, though, but he hit it right on the head. But it's all about your preference. Man, I've tried. I've got more gear and collected more stuff than I am capable of being able to show everybody what they can do. I'm not a great player. I'm not a shredder. I've been a rhythm guitarist in most of the bands I've ever played in. I've just started learning scales and that over the last 6 months so that I could try and do more to show stuff like octave pedals, that where you don't play chords and stuff. But I have fun. And, anybody out there, if you're in the same boat as me, you may, if you're not a Vi disciple or a Jimmy Page disciple and can't play all that, don't let it get you down. Just have fun. Play what you can play. If you just learn bar chords, play bar chords, play the hell out of them, and find some pedals that you like. Get some cheap pedals, get some expensive pedals. It ain't nobody's business what you're doing but yours. You know what I'm saying? So you post something up on a wall and somebody attacks you over it, man. When it first happened to me, I let it get me down the first month or so I got into this journey. But now, man, I just let that roll right off my back because you know what? They're not paying my bills. They're not at my house. They may not own the other stuff I own. I own a nice big house. I got a 3,000 square foot home, 2 cars, a pool. I'm not worried about what somebody thinks about my playing or the pedals that I use or the cost of an amp. One more person attacks my MG, again, I'm liable to lose my mind because you know what? It does exactly what I need it to do right now. And that's all that matters. And some of you guys that play those MGs, you can hear what I'm doing through it. And now you know. And that's what it's about for me. And I have fun. And I have fun recording it for you guys. I love interacting. I think anybody that follows me, especially on X, where I can interact with you, knows that there's not a time or a question or a DM or a post that has been sent directly to me that I have not answered in this entire year and 2 months. I answer everything. I talk about everything. If I don't have an answer, I'll find you one. And that's one other thing I just like to throw out there. And then I'm going to need to get off here. Man, this show ended up going a while. I thought this would be like a 10-minute thing and nobody would come. So I do appreciate all of you. But now I lost my train of thought, what I was going to say. Oh, well, then let's read the next one. Wampler is the OG. I can't say nothing but good about him. He is a builder. He has helped me a lot. He will share anything. Yeah, that is another thing. The guy from Wampler, there's nothing you can't ask him that he won't come back and tell you. I'm a rhythm guy. Nothing wrong with that. It's what I was originally a bass player and then learned the guitar. So there you go, man. And I'm trying to learn some bass. I know I do bass. A lot of people had come to me and asked me about doing bass demos and could you use, and yes, that is another thing. Bass players, you can use these overdrives and that. Now, overdrive and distortion, guitar pedals on bass, you might lose a little bit of your signal in that through it. It may not be the best bet, but you can do it. But you can definitely use reverb and octave and delay pedals that are guitar pedals. Don't think just because they're guitar pedals you can't use them on your bass. Yes, you can. Just like you can use your bass pedals on your guitar if you want to use that sound. So feel free to try it. I do. And that's why I had to learn bass. People asked me if I could do some bass demos and see what some of these pedals that I had sounded like on bass. So I bought the Hartke, and then I got the Orange Crush Bass 50. And like I said, I try to use the FX loop. I also do acoustic demos for anybody that doesn't know me. I do acoustic through all these pedals, and I use all the MG, the JCM, the Orange, the standard PA, the PV, the stereo chorus. I run them through all of them. So if there's something you need to hear, if you send me a DM or something, I'll try and do it, try and get to it as quick as I can. I have stacks of stuff and loaner pedals that people have sent that I need to get demos done and sent back, and stuff like that. So if you're not following me or not subscribed to me on YouTube, please do. I put out matter of fact, today's Sunday, and the EHX percolator demo came out today over there. You're running it through my JCM 800, I think. I'd have to look at the description in it. But get over there and subscribe and check them out. And tomorrow or tonight at 12:05, Monday, releases the boutique demo. I have a website at www.tomspedaldemos.com. A lot of stuff over there that you can check out. My blog, my merch store, small demos in that, photographs and stuff. I also have a Buy Me a Coffee. You can feel free to go check it out. It's the same thing. Buy Me a Coffee I think it's at Tom's Pedal Demos. And you can check that out. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, X, TikTok. I'm on all of it, Reddit, and they're all Tom's Pedal Demos. You can find me on all of them. But I'm going to let's check out the last couple here. EHX Big Muff Deluxe is an absolute monster on guitar. I don't have the Deluxe, but I do have the Pi, and I have the another one. And you're absolutely right. They're both really good on bass and guitar. I like them both on both. Yeah, Joe, I think Daniel had to go in today. So I know he'd be here if he didn't. I appreciate you too. Scar Industry and Level Up Effects, I do a lot of work with. We discuss pedal builds and, how things are going, where they're going with their builds. They pick my brain for ideas that what I think may be good. They tell me what what they got going on. And we got another site, and I'll throw it up there through here, is called Tone Nomads, and it's a store that I'm opening up with some help from those guys for selling small builder pedals to allow them to concentrate on building. And we're looking at who else we can bring in and who else wants to join that builds. But it's called Tone Nomad. Some of you already know about it. Some of you already won stickers from over there, but they're also across the board, Instagram and YouTube and X and everything else. So feel free to follow us over there. But there you'll only hear about the builders and the pedals coming from them. So they won't be budget friendly. I can pretty sure about that. They won't fall in the $79, $99 range. But they are great pedals, they're great builders and great guys, which is all I work with. I don't like working with people that I can't respect or like. So join us over there. And any questions, please feel free to ask anytime, whether it be through YouTube or through one of the other platforms. And I'm going to start trying to do this at least twice a month. With my schedule, I'm off every other weekend, so it'll probably be every other Sunday. And I appreciate, man, all you guys that did come spend some time with me and interacted and let me get some good practice in today. And I appreciate you, and you know that. You know how I feel about all the people that I've given away a bunch of pedals and that too. And I feel good when I give it to people that I know that appreciate it and get involved all the time. So yeah, if you follow me on X, I do quite a few giveaways over there because it's easier to interact with people. But we did just do a big giveaway for YouTube for hitting 1,000 subscribers. And I gave that away across the board. It was an entire board of small builder pedals on and a board. So yeah, you can join us for that. But I appreciate you guys coming and hanging out, man. Everybody have a safe weekend, finish to your weekend. And I'll talk to you later. Thanks a lot, guys.